Hi, Keith.
Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Hi, Eddie. As Lee said there, obviously you guys are delayed by a couple of hours. Can you just give us an insight into what's happened there and why you're in this situation?
I believe it's a weather problem, so we were delayed taking off. So sat on the runway for quite some time, but it's out of the ordinary really for us. We do a lot of travelling in the UK, and that can happen from time to time, but we're here, and yeah, apologies for being late.
So were you sat at the runway back in Newcastle?
Yeah, for some time, yeah.
Okay. Will that affect preparations? I guess it's not ideal for the players to be sat in that situation.
Yeah, but it's just part and parcel of the job that we do. It's not out of the norm that can happen. Air traffic control, etc. This was a weather problem, but we've been in similar situations.
And now you've arrived here to the San Siro, walked in. How are you feeling ahead of what is going to be, I guess, just an amazing occasion for everyone involved in the football club?
Yeah, no, it's been a good day. It's been a long day for us. So an early start and a late finish. So it's been a day of preparation, really, trying to get all our game plan right, trying to make sure we're absolutely organised and as good as we can be for tomorrow's game. It's been intense, obviously. As soon as the game finished against Brentford, we immediately turned our attentions to this one, and we're looking forward to it.
Have you had a chance to go out and have a look at the pitch and the surrounds yet?
Literally out the car, or off the plane, out the car, straight here.
Yeah. And just finally from me, is that a concern tonight, the fact that it's going to be a late night for the players and yourself?
No, as I say, we're used to it. It's a slightly later arrival time than we would have liked for the players, but no big deal from me.
Thanks, Keith. Ian?
Eddie, Ian Dennis, 5 Live. Hi.
Hi,
Is it true you've never attended a Champions League match? And I realise that come tomorrow you'll be in the zone and you'll be focused. But when you replaced Jimmy Quinn at the age of 31, how special will you feel when you hear that Champions League anthem to be managing in this elite competition?
Yeah, no, I've never attended one. I've always been too busy working to take one in. But it's not something I've given any thought to. It's a game of football, and yeah, I think it'd be a proud moment for me. I think it'd be a proud moment for everyone connected with Newcastle to be back into the Champions League after a long period away. But it is a game of football, and I think that's just how we have to approach it. Yes, it's a special game, and we have to be at our best, and there's slight differences in terms of where we've travelled, but the game will be the same, but it will be a very difficult one.
Thank you.
Gentleman at the back.
Olof Lund, TV4 Sweden. What do you think Alexander Isak has developed during the time under your tutelage? And you have a lot to choose from for tomorrow's game. What does Isak give you if you choose him?
I think he's really impressed in his time with us. Initial injury that he picked up was a blow for us, but it probably allowed him, looking at a positive, allowed him to settle into the country and into our way of playing, and he could watch a lot from the sidelines and pick up a lot of what we ask him to do. And then when he came back to fitness, he was outstanding for us at the back end of last season. Dovetailed really well with Callum Wilson, was versatile, played in various positions for us, and he's just a super technician, very, very intelligent footballer, and he's got the ability to win you a game. He can do something from the absolutely unexpected. So I think he's a real talent.
Craig in the front.
Hi, Eddie. How long were you on the runway for, and what did you and the players do?
I'm not sure. What was it?
We were probably in the airport for an extra hour and on the plane for 45 minutes to an hour as well.
Usual stuff that we do. We're watching games and fine-tuning our preparation. The players are relaxing in various ways with their phones, games together and talking.
And any sort of fitness? Did Callum Wilson train separate days? Is he okay?
Yeah, Callum's okay. Yeah, he very rarely trains 2 days after a game, so normal preparation for him.
Luke in the middle.
Hi, Eddie. Is that on?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, you can normally hear my voice anyway. But Sandro Silva coming back to AC Milan, what has he brought to your team, and what do you make of tomorrow night's occasion for him coming back here?
Yeah, very early days for Sandro with us, but a hugely impressive character. He's really committed to Newcastle, to living in Newcastle, the language, everything that we would have wanted him to do, he's committed 100%. And then on the pitch, I think he's been hugely impressive because it's very, very difficult to transfer from country to country and from team to team. And again, he's committed to everything we've asked him to do. He picked up an injury, of course, on international duty, which was a blow to us, but we don't think that's serious, so fingers crossed. He's fit and available for tomorrow.
Gentleman just on the left here. No, behind.
Buonasera mister, Luca Savarese, Passione Milan. Quando mister Sarri allenava l'Empoli, lei andò a vedere i suoi allenamenti. Che esperienza ha avuto per lei quel momento e in futuro magari potrebbe allenare anche lei in Italia? Grazie.
Apologies, sorry, can you just repeat that for us?
Sorry.
Quando mister Maurizio Sarri allenava l'Empoli, lei andò a vedere i suoi allenamenti. Che importanza ha avuto per lei quel momento e in futuro magari si vede anche lei allenatore in Italia? Grazie.
Yeah, and I remember going. Feels like yesterday, although it was probably a long time ago. I was recommended to go and see him work through someone I really trust, and who said this coach is very, very good. And at the time, I was regularly visiting countries across Europe and teams across Europe to find out more and learn. It's one of the things I love to do, or did love to do, and I was really, really impressed. I was there for 2 days. He welcomed me. We got on really well. And then, of course, we met in the Premier League when he was at Chelsea and I was at Bournemouth, and got a lot of respect for him, and I really thank him for allowing me to see his work. And it's not necessarily a burning ambition that I have to manage in another country, but who knows what the future brings.
Lee at the front.
Eddie, what do you make of the venue? Obviously, you haven't had much time to look around it, but it's obviously well known in football, the San Siro. How much are you looking forward to doing your sort of trade out there tomorrow night?
Yeah, really looking forward to experiencing the stadium, the atmosphere, in a sense of managing in this environment. But I always think when the game kicks off, it's not in the forefront of your thoughts at all. What competition you're in, what ground you're in. It's the game and making sure we're competitive and we can execute our plan onto them, and we can be the best version of ourselves that we can be. So it's probably something you think about maybe before briefly and afterwards, but definitely not during.
Will the players have a walk around tonight, or will the first chance to get the ball be tomorrow?
No, again, I think that's probably, in my opinion, overrated. Some would have been here before, some wouldn't. It's a pitch, and yes, every player will feel probably slightly different, but once they're on it, we hope they perform.
Okay, Aaron at the front.
Eddie, what's the mood like in the dressing room, and specifically the likes of Sean Longstaff and Dan Burn, who have obviously grown up watching Newcastle in Europe 20 years ago? How are they feeling ahead of the game?
Yeah, I haven't really individually talked to them like that. I think that's not really the type of conversation I would have with them at this stage, the day before a game. It is very much about trying to get across how I want them to play, what I feel we need to do in the game. Very much a tactical description, really. It's no different to any other day before a game in terms of what I've executed across to the players. I would very, very rarely talk to them about what the game means, because I think that can only add negative connotations if I go too deep with them. So I'm sure they're looking forward to it, and be a big game for everybody.
And the gentleman just next to you. Yeah.
Buonasera mister, benvenuto in Italia, Francesco Pietrella della Gazzetta dello Sport. Le volevo chiedere intanto su Tonali qual è la cosa che l'ha colpita di più in questi primi mesi, insomma, inglesi, se c'è un aspetto legato al carattere, legato al gioco, legato proprio alla persona. E poi un'altra curiosità, se ha qualche ricordo su San Siro, non so, una partita o qualcosa che ha visto un giocatore legato anche al suo passato, qualcosa che ha colpito di più, insomma, legato a San Siro. Grazie.
Yeah, so firstly with Sandro, really like him as a person. Very focused on his football, quite serious towards his game, which I like. As I said, one of the most impressive things, I think he's a leader, albeit a young player, but with so much growth and potential in him. I'm very excited about what he can be for us now and in the future. And yeah, I came to the San Siro many years ago scouting, and I was hit immediately by the size of the stadium and the atmosphere inside. So yeah, it'll be an amazing place to be tomorrow.
Right at the back of the room. Yeah.
Sì, buonasera mister. Il fatto che il Milan abbia parecchi giocatori che hanno giocato in Premier League, che conoscono i ritmi, conoscono gli avversari, può essere un ulteriore ostacolo per la partita di domani sera? Grazie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a difficult game. AC Milan have real quality, a quality coach who's done an incredible job here. As you say, players with Premier League experience, I don't think be anything new for them. Top quality players. I think they've recruited well in the summer as well. So we anticipate a very big challenge in front of us.
Oscar?
And just back to the travel delays, what was the thought process behind coming later in the day? Could it have been avoided if you'd come earlier?
No, but the thought of coming earlier in the day was so we could do our tactical work. I was going to say, yeah, behind closed doors, really. That's for me, that's so important that we get our work done, and we're able to work, because with such small game time between games, that was really valuable that we did that. As I said, it's no big issue for me.
Martin, next to you. No.
Sorry, I was going to ask the same question about why you decided not to train at the San Siro and whether that had impacted the flight schedule this afternoon.
Well, I don't think it impacted the flight schedule. The weather did that, but we wanted to train and prepare for the game. Whereas if you train here, then that goes out the window, really.
Simon?
Just a basic question about what you hope to achieve in the Champions League this year, and how far you can go, and do you want to go all the way, that kind of thing. Maybe not all the way, but
well, no, we want to do as well as we can. Yeah, I mean, there's no secret, there's no surprise in my answer. We want to be very competitive. First and foremost, we want to give a really good account of ourselves. We want to show our style of play and try and impose that into the competition. And of course, then with that, you hope you get the results that follows. But I think first and foremost, the competitive nature in our game has to be there, which was against Brentford at the weekend. It was a really good return back to the basics of the game, and we did them very well, and we're going to need to do that again in this game.
Gentleman on the right.
Buonasera mister, benvenuto in Italia, Valerio Tubercolo di Spazio Milan. Ha appena detto che Pioli è un ottimo allenatore, ma nello specifico cosa le piace in particolare? Ci può dire qualcosa di più? Grazie.
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet him a few years ago, and we had a really good conversation on football. Someone I respect a lot. I mean, you look at the teams that he's managed, it's an incredible list, really. Still, for someone relatively young in the coaching world, and he's obviously won his league very recently. Good guy, really good energy about him, and yeah, I think this is a very prestigious club, a great club to manage, and he's done incredibly well. So full credit to him.
Okay, in the middle.
Buonasera mister, volevo chiederle che effetto pensa possa avere il derby da cui arriva il Milan, una sconfitta per 5-1, se è meglio affrontare il Milan dopo una debacle di questo tipo o se si aspetta un Milan più motivato da questa sconfitta.
No, I very much expect a motivated Milan. I've got no doubt that they will be. Different competition, different day. No, you know, we speak from ourselves and our perspective. We had a couple of difficult results, and then you're always looking for the ability to bounce back and show your true qualities, and I'm sure Milan will be the same. After the game at the weekend, but we can only focus on ourselves. And I think coming here, we have to start the game well. That's imperative, especially with the atmosphere we're going to face and the conditions. So I think the start to the game is going to be key.
And the last one, Dominic.
Hi, Eddie. Will any players from your B-list squad be involved tomorrow night? Either Elliot Anderson, Lewis Smiley, players like that?
Yeah, I think without having the list right in front of me, I think that those players you mentioned will be involved. Paul Dummett as well. I don't know if he's on the B list, but yeah, they'll all be involved.
And for Lewis Smiley, 17 years old, could become the club's youngest ever player in Europe. Just what does this experience give him?
Yeah, I think the experience, regardless of whether he gets onto the pitch or not, is really, really valuable if that's how you approach the experience. I think just to take it all in, see it all, will really, really help him out, I hope, throughout his career, if he can have fond memories and draw from the experiences that he's going to come into contact with in the next